Righty, last but not least, two things we're going to look at across this unit, particularly this will come up in your first SAC, is samples and populations. So it will hardly ever come up in an exam, but we have to assess you on it, so no surprises that we're putting it on your SAC. I might not have been meant to tell you that, but there you go, I've just told you anyway. So a population is all of the data in your group. So if I was taking a survey of our class, my population would be if I surveyed every single person in the class. So it's not just part of it, but it's the whole thing. Or if I was doing the Australian census, each 4 years or whatever it is, they take an Australian census. They aim to take a population of Australia. So they aim to survey every single person in Australia about a range of different things. So they are looking to get a population, an exact answer, and they're trying to survey everyone. And obviously they don't get everyone, but they do their best. Sometimes taking a population is way too difficult. So it is, if I just wanted to know, if I was interested for some research, how many people owned pets, then I wouldn't be able to go around to everyone in Australia and survey everyone. It's just impractical to do so. So I could take a sample or a simple random sample just randomly of that data to get an idea of what the bigger group of the whole population might have. So a sample is a part of the whole data used to represent the whole data. So you can imagine that it's really important that I don't just go out and pick everyone that I know that has pets and take a sample of the population through that, because that's going to skew my answers. If I'm looking for how many people own pets and I ask everyone I know that owns pets, well, of course my data is going to say everyone owns a pet, but obviously everyone doesn't own a pet. So I have to make sure that the process I use is completely fair and completely random. So that's what this says. It must be completely random to be fair. We can't just make numbers up off the top of our head, because it's not going to be completely random. We need to use some sort of random generator, and we have that on our calculator. So if you're asked, if you're given a population, say 50 pieces of data, and you're asked to choose just 5 of them, then you're being asked to find a sample. But you can't just pick 5 that you want. You have to use some sort of a system set up to randomly choose them. So you can't do it yourself, you have to get something to do it for you, and your calculator will be that thing that we'll use in further maths, unit 3 and 4. So here's an example of how you would do that with your calculator. There's kind of 2 stages. We have to set it up and tell the calculator how to generate the random numbers, and then we have to start generating them ourselves. So the first step, add a calculator page, menu, probability, random, and then seed, and that will come up with a thing just like this that says rand seed, and then you'll type in 4 numbers, and I reckon the easy one to use is the last 4 digits of your phone number. So there you go, I did that, 7160. So once you have rand seed, it'll come up in your calculator. Type in the 4 numbers, hit enter, and that will have set. So that's randomly generating the numbers based on a big complicated code in your calculator, and actually these 4 numbers. So if you set different numbers, it'll randomly generate different numbers. So now we need to start generating numbers. So we follow the same menu process, menu, probability, random. This time click on the integer, and that'll put this little thing down in your calculator screen, rand int, and it'll have some empty brackets and a comma. You'll need to fill in this comma, and I've written that here. In the brackets, type the range of numbers you would like to generate from. So for example, if I had 10 pieces of data, I might want the calculator to tell me which one of them to pick, so I'm going to tell it to pick from 1 to 10. So I'm going to write from 1 to 10. Or if I had 50 pieces of data, I might tell it to pick anywhere between the number 1 and 50. Like 1 will be my first piece of data, 12 will be my 12th piece of data. So each time I want to get a new piece of data, I just have to hit enter, and this same thing will stay in there, and you just keep pressing enter, and each time you get a new number coming out. So if the first number you might get will be 6, and so you're going to use the 6th piece of data. Just be careful when you're deciding between, say you had 100 pieces of data, like the book gives an example. 100 pieces, you could do it from 0 to 99 and just make sure that each one is sort of stepped up, or you could just do it from 1 to 100. I would do from 1 to 100, even though the book suggests 0 to 99. So yeah, if you're starting and each of your data is numbered and the first number on your data is 1, start at 1. It just seems easier. Or if you were picking people's ages and their ages were all the way between 50 and 55, then your the amount your range is going to be is from 50 to 55. Just sort of think practically, what numbers do you want to get out? So anywhere between 1 and 10, including 1 and 10, could come out of this random generator now. That's pretty much it. Once you're able to do that, that's great.